Castles at Kasarani have been graced by the Chief of Defence Forces, as I had mentioned earlier, and of course the Chief Registrar as well, who is there. But to get more context, Ibrahim Karanja now joins us live on location. Ibrahim, earlier on, they did not allow the media to take pictures. Do we know why?
Well, Bernard, the reason why they did not allow the media to take pictures, especially of that oathing ceremony and what the military was running at that particular time, was because it's sort of avoiding to preempt what will be happening on Tuesday. Of course, there is also that anticipation that Kenyans will be having in watching the real action on Tuesday as it shall be happening. Also remember, this is a rehearsal, a simulation of what will be happening on the actual date, and we were allowed to take pictures up to the point when the military parade took their position in the stadium, and immediately after, what happened in terms of the president, the current president, President Uhuru Kenyatta, who will be the chief guest of that particular event, in this day a role played by the Chief of Defence Forces, Robert Kibochi. The moment he arrived, then all cameras were asked to go off, even as that particular exercise took place. But just to let you know, Bernard, this is an exercise that has taken about that oathing ceremony of the president-elect has taken about 40 minutes to 1 hour since the time it started, since the time the parade took their space in the middle of the stadium. And we saw that by that particular time that the parade was taking its place in the stadium, then Deputy President-elect Rigathi Gachagua will be coming into the stadium, as well as President-elect William Ruto. The last person to arrive at the Moi Sports Complex Kasarani will be President Uhuru Kenyatta. Like I have already mentioned, he will be the chief guest of that particular event because he will be the one coming to hand over the instruments of power to the President-elect William Ruto, the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya. And immediately upon arrival to this particular stadium, he will be received by the Chief of Defence Forces, General Robert Kibochi, and he will ride on that presidential Land Rover into the stadium and walk straight to the presidential stand, where the national anthem and the East African anthem will be sung. Immediately after, President Uhuru Kenyatta again will inspect the guard of honor for the very last time. Remember, this is the very last time in which he will be inspecting the guard of honor before going to the main dais. And after that, then the event will start with prayers, 3 prayers: a traditional prayer, a Christian prayer, as well as an Islam prayer that will be administered here. And immediately after that, then the judiciary will take over the exercise. The Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Anne Amadi, who will be the one to preside over this particular exercise, of course, with the Chief Justice, Martha Koome, witnessing the exercise. And Martha Koome will introduce the President-elect William Ruto to the Republic of Kenya. And the President-elect will be allowed to come and take his oath of office. He'll be taking 2 oaths of office. This is oath of due execution of the office of President, as well as the oath to protect the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. Immediately after that, Bernard Dong, we're going to see a lot of activities in terms of power shifting. This is that point when even the sword, President Uhuru Kenyatta will be handing over the sword to Deputy President William Ruto, who will then, of course, be President William Ruto, the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya. We shall also be simultaneously seeing the portrait of President Uhuru Kenyatta lowered, and that of William Ruto being placed where the portrait of President Uhuru Kenyatta will be. We will also see from that particular point the lowering of the presidential standard of Uhuru Kenyatta, and simultaneously the hoisting of William Ruto's presidential standard. It remains a secret right now. Nobody knows which will be President William Ruto's presidential standard, but it will be revealed on Tuesday as he will be sworn in, and it will be simultaneous. On those particular flag posts that we are seeing is where the presidential standard of President-elect, the President William Ruto, will be hoisted, as the presidential standard of President Uhuru Kenyatta is lowered. Immediately after that, we are also going to see the Chief of Defence Forces, Robert Kibochi, hand over the presidential standard of Uhuru Kenyatta to him, because that will be signifying that he has finished his term as president, and now it will be a substantive president in terms of William Ruto being the president. What is going on right now is also a simulation of what will happen immediately after the oathing ceremony, because you see, we are on entertainment. Remember, all this can happen after the timelines. That is because the oathing ceremony has to happen between 10 and 2 p.m. So all this will be following the oathing ceremony, entertainment from the various groups that will have been allowed to perform in front of the president and the other visiting heads of state. So lots of activities that shall be happening at the Moi Sports Complex, Kasarani. We expect, of course, a lot of activities tomorrow and Monday ahead of the D-Day. In a few minutes also, we're also expecting to be addressed by the Assumption of Office Committee led by the head of Civil Service, Joseph Kinyua, who is already in this particular stadium and was witnessing the exercise. Like you said, Ndong, Kinyua was witnessing the exercise with that particular committee. Also witnessing was Robert Kibochi, as well as the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, and Amadi. So in a few minutes, of course, our viewers are sure to get what will be the communication from the Assumption of Office that will be coming from this particular venue, and we are sure to communicate it to our viewers only on the way here at NTV can.
Ibrahim, thank you so much for that update. I just want to ask you one final question to let you go and just follow the proceedings there at Kasarani. You've mentioned that the standard, we had to know the exact standard that President-elect William Ruto will utilize, but is it a secret in terms of the guest list? Who do we expect in terms of the guests, in terms of perhaps some heads of states who are anticipated to be arriving in the country in the course of the next few days for the inauguration?
Well, perhaps what we expect the Assumption of Office Committee to be telling us in that particular press conference is the confirmation, especially on heads of state who will be attending this particular inauguration of President William Ruto. So far, we cannot authoritatively say that such and such a president or such and such a guest will be attending this particular ceremony. But of course, like I said, Joseph Kinyua and the Assumption of Office Committee will be telling us in a few minutes all in regards to this particular inauguration ceremony, and perhaps parts of the things that they will be highlighting to us are the guests that will be coming here, and the guests who are not after leaving here will also be proceeding to State House, because what I did not mention is that after the inauguration of President William Ruto, then in exiting the stadium, President Uhuru Kenyatta will be the first one to exit the stadium and proceed to State House in anticipation of the incoming President William Ruto, where they will host a luncheon of all invited guests. That will also include the visiting heads of state who will be attending this particular function. Barad.
Thank you very much. That is Ibrahim Karanja just giving us an overview of what to expect in the coming days as we count down to the inauguration day that is set to take place at the venue where he was giving us an update from. That is the Moi Sports Center, Kasarani, the 60,000-seater capacity facility.